Welcome to Clyde Samvada, brought to you by the Hindu Temple of Scotland. We have Dr. Narasimhan with us again. If you have been following us over the prior few weeks, you would have followed the fact that we talked about what is called a Shanmata Stapana, which was the 6 pillars of worship. And within that, we have been talking about each of those pillars in isolation. And one of the pillars being Vaishnava tradition. And we had been talking about the Vaishnava philosophy, the Divya Deshams of Lord Vishnu, and the first Divya Desham of it, which was Lord Srirangam in Ranganatha Swami in Srirangam temple. And in a prior episode, we figured out that there is a connection between Ayodhya and Sri Rama with Srirangam. And we talked about how Srirangam is the Kula Devata for Lord Rama. And we understood a bit of that background. Today we are going to build up on that discussion, trying to understand more about the architecture of the Srirangam temple, how is it linked to the different Vaishnava traditions and philosophies, all of that. So Narasimhan, welcome again. How are you today?
I'm good. Namaste, Srivas. Glad to be part of today's discussion in Clyde Samvada.
Thank you. So building on from our discussion earlier, so is there anything unique about the architecture of Srirangam temple? How is that linked to any of the contemporary thought process or Vaishnava traditions in that sense?
Yeah, so we can continue on that Srirangam from an architectural point of view, but also, as I have always said, there is always a philosophical connection to that. So if you have seen in the previous videos with the photos of the Srirangam Mandapam, which I was saying with a gold-plated Vimana, that Vimana is called Sriranga Vimanam. To start with that as an architecture, normally you would have seen like most of the Hindu temples as a gopura, like magnificent,
yes,
like a truncated rectangle thing, or like a dome which you normally see in Tirupala, Tirupati. But this is not that one, not this one. This is both. So that Vimana is called Pranavakara Vimana.
Pranavakara Vimana. Pranavam as in Om.
Om, exactly. So that Pranava Mantiram, like as you know, it is composed of 3 syllables.
Yes.
And forming together the Shabda Om, A, U, Im. So it representing that, earlier I said in a sloka that 4 pillars inside the sanctum sanctorum of Sriranga Mandapa is called Gayatri Mandapa. To account as a crown on top of everything, that Vimana is now called Pranavakara Vimana, where it will be more like a dome, but also there is a projection in the front. So there are 4 kalasas on the top, representing 4 Vedas, Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, and Atharvana Veda. And there are other kalasas in the horizontal manner. So that symbol represents Pranavakara. So inside the Pranava, because philosophically, the Om is the very subtle, the sukshma form of any mantras.
Yes.
If you spread, it will become Om Namo Narayanaya. Yeah. That will become another 2 line. That will become 4 line. That will become expand all the way to Vedas and Upanishad. So that is architecture. So that people who can see that related photos in the previous episode and this current ongoing episode will relate why it is so. The shape is unique. Okay. That is one architecture. The other architecture, as we have touched last time, it's all from ages and yugas, eons ago, different architecture. But predominantly, this was all brought by Dharmavarma Chola, Killi Chola. So the architecture is more Chola style of architecture, which typically you see in central part of Tamil Nadu, like Tiruchirappalli, Tanjore, that kind of thing. But over the years, many kings have contributed. Pallavas have contributed, Pandya kings have contributed, and even later part, Nayaka Mannar, like Vijayanagara kings have contributed. So there are some always continuing progressive architectural differences. But what I would like to say, like in that sloka, we say Sapta Prakara Madhye. This is like a 7 circumambulating rectangles. Each of them has a magnificent fortified walls. And those walls have their own architecture. So the temple, as I said last time, 156 acres.
Yeah,
so the
it's
temple
like one
is
of the biggest areas in terms of temples. Yeah.
So in Tamil, as you know, Periya means big, magnificent. So the temple is called Periya Koyil. So who is inside the Periya Koyil? Perumal. So he is called Periya Perumal. We say Lord Ranganatha, but any Sri Vaishnava in Tamil, Have you gone to have a darshan of Periya Perumal? They say. They won't say Ranganatha.
Okay.
Ranganatha is very nice name, but then Periya Perumal is more colloquial, more like a family member kind of addressing our elders.
Elder brother or something.
So Periya Perumal, Periya Koyil, and even the Nachiyar, the Lakshmi, Ranganayaki Nachiyar is also called Periya Prati. Prati means like Lakshmi.
Okay.
Periya Perumal, Periya Prati, Periya Koyil, even the kind of Naivedya you do on the select Utsava and days, it's called Periya Thaligai or Periya Avasaram. So everything is Periya.
Okay. Is there any specific Naivedya that is very special for that temple?
Oh, there are plenty. I cannot cover in this, and everyone will be longing to have any of them. But there are like some appams and like kind of very sweet, kind of sweet chapati, I would say, just for normal people. They aren't all going to be very special. And also the dadi annam, the curd rice, all those things are there. Vada is always there. Srirangam is also well known for that kind of Naivedya things. The kitchen is also Periya Madapalli. Madapalli is a kitchen, Periya Madapalli. So everything is big there. Yeah. So that architectural wise, if you go, there are a lot of tourism information. There are like people are like hoisting on the horse with stabbing on the big kind of scepter. All those sculptures are to be appreciated. And there are 21 gopuras I have mentioned. Each gopura facing north, south, east and west and south. Everything is unique in their own architecture again, and a lot of small minute details you can find. And the temple has, you won't believe, 1000 pillar mandapam alone. It is 1000 pillar mandapam. Ayiram kal mandapam in Tamil we say. And during the Vaikunta Ekadasi, for 11 days, Ranganatha used to be there. So when I say there are my voice come like Darshan come like Ranganatha, the reason is the reclining Perumal is called Periya Perumal. Okay. But the processing Perumal like Utsava Murti, like for normal people in Tirumala we say Govinda Venkateshwara is a Mulava Murti, who comes around is called Malayappa Swami. In the procession, the Brahmotsana. Like that in Sriranga, that procession is also Ranganatha, but we call him by name Nam Perumal.
Nam Perumal.
So our Perumal.
Oh, Nam Perumal.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have a very famous pasuram saying Nam Perumal, Nammalvar, Nanjiyar, Nampillai. So Nam Perumal, our Lord, Nammalvar, our Alwar, which we touched earlier, and then Namjiyar means our knowledge to Acharya. Nampillai is another Acharya. So it's ours. We keep proud in that. So that Namperumal comes in all these things through that 1000 pillar. So that's the architectural part.
Nice. And you talked about the Acharyas, right? So was there any specific Acharya who had a significant role in setting up the temple or ensuring that the traditions of the temple were maintained and followed?
Exactly. So there is one very specific, unique feature of Srirangam temple. And to my knowledge, maybe I'm not aware, that's the only temple is maintained record of day-to-day activities. I'm not sure, there may be Ananthapuram Padmanabha Swami temple or Kashi temple or some other temple in north or Tirumala. But here the Sri Vaishnava tradition, Tirumala has, but Srirangam has one book called Koyil Olugu. Koyil means temple. Olugu means like a log. That has a log of books. Even in my home, I have some volumes, like 3 or 4 volumes, starting from 17th century until 2003. Just
that's like 300 years of storytelling.
Volume I have, but that volume is humongously big. So they have right from the whatever Mahabharata time or whatever, at least 2000 years, I would say, 1000 years on so on, from prayer even to Ramanujacharya. So that Koyil Olugu, they name everything. In that book, even in the British time, what are the litigations, who is the Tiruchi collector, the British collector, how they resolved, how the irrigation was done, what are the contributions given to the temple, in what way temple went to upside downs. It's everything is a chronicle. So for your question, was there any Acharya? Obviously yes. The Sri Vaishnava, the central Acharya, what we call the most supreme is Ramanuja. Why we say supreme Ramanuja? Ramanuja we consider as a Punar Avatara of none other than Adisesha. And why he got the name Ramanuja? Adisesha, we all know in Ramayana, is Lakshmana. Ramasya Anujaha. Rama's younger brother is Lakshmana. So the same Lakshmana comes as in this Kali Yuga in the year of 1017 AD until 120 years. He had a Purna life, like a Purna Ayus we say. 1134. Until that 120 years, Swami Ramanuja was there.
Okay.
And he was born in Sriperumbudur. We will touch his life and philosophy preachings later. But very briefly, he born in Sriperumbudur near Chennai in Kanchipuram. Then actually he was living in Kanchipuram. Okay. But it's so divine in this Ranganatha's Sankalpa that he was made to come to Srirangam.
Okay.
So he was like a normal family person. But then before him, the proponent of, I would say, renaissance of Sri Vaishnavam was done by another Acharya called Yamunacharya. Okay. His other name is called Alavandar.
Alavandar, okay.
Yamunacharya means he is named after the holy river Yamuna, like a Ganga Yamuna. So he is born near Tanjore side, or more Veeranam we say, Kattumannar Koil, towards the east. He became this Acharya for Vaishnava in Srirangam.
Okay.
So he is the one who started summarizing the Bhagavad Gita. So he got words like Gitartha Sangraham and all those summary, and he got Lord Sri Vaishnava philosophy, which we touched in the first episode, lot of Sanskrit works called Stotra Ratnam. So then he wanted, as he getting old, he wanted to find who can be his successor.
Okay.
He had 6 people at the Acharyas that I will name later in the other episodes. Then he felt through the dream and with the blessings of Ranganatha, it is Ramanuja, who is in Kanchipuram, must be coming back to Srirangam to be the kind of, I would say, headquarters of Sri Vaishnava.
Oh, nice.
So it became, in a way, he sent his another disciple from Srirangam to Kanchipuram. And Kanchipuram also is well known for another Perumal temple, Varadaraja Perumal temple. And Varadaraja Perumal temple, the Lord Varadaraja also doesn't want to lose Ramanuja. He was doing daily Kainkariya. Okay. Kainkariya means service, like getting the water for his Abhisheka from the well, all those things. But it's from Srirangam, he sent a very nice singing this Nalayira Pasuram, Divya Prabandham. And that Varadaraja asked, oh, I'm very blessed by all these Alwar Pasuram. What do you want in return gift? He said, can you please give Ramanuja? Okay. So Varadaraja, we used to say he was so, can't avoid what he promised, at the same time not willing. So we have 3 names.
Okay.
Sriranga, where the Lord Ranganatha is reclining, is called Bhoga Mandapa. It's called Bhoga Shayanam. He is reclining in Adisesha.
Okay.
And Tirumala is called Pushpa Mandapa. It's full of flowers.
Flowers, okay.
Not many people will know. All the flowers in Tirumala, Thiruvenkadam, is only for Lord Srinivasa. That is the reason, knowledgeable people, if you see, none of the devotees will have flower on their head when they are in Tirumala.
Okay.
So it is called Pushpa Mandapa.
Okay.
Then what is this Kanchipuram, the Varadaraja Perumal? Since he sacrificed Ramanuja, is a Tyaga Mandapam. So he sacrificed.
Okay.
So that's how he Ramanuja.
Bhoga, Pushpa and Tyaga.
Tyaga, exactly. So we say Koil, Tirumalai, Perumal Koil, Bhoga, Pushpa, Dhyaga. Okay. So then Ramanuja came to Sriranga. Unfortunately, he could not meet Alavandar in person, because by the time he sacrificed his life. But that was interestingly, his finger was like this.
Okay.
Like this, like 3 fingers fold. Okay. So he wanted 3 in a Sri Vaishnava Krama to be pending. And he wanted Ramanuja to do. What are those? As you know very well, Prasthanatrayam. Okay. So he wanted Visishtadvaita approach of Brahma Sutram. Okay. That's called Sri Bhashyam. Okay. And then the Upanishad Vyakyanams and the Sahasranamam, all those things. Okay. And the Bhagavad Vishayam, the essence of meaning of Nala Divya Prabandham, which is Nammadva Tiruvaimari. So his finger was closed, like he had like some kind of unfulfilled dreams, right? Okay. When Ramanuja came and looked at Alavandar, who is already passed away, and he touched his feet, immediately those fingers became normal. Okay. So he was so soothed, Ramanuja. So from then, Ramanuja became headquartered in Srirangam throughout major of his life, and he started. So he's not unlike Adi Shankara, who lived a very young life but offered so much of our philosophy in Advaita Mandal.
Like
but
30 years something.
32 years. Ramanuja is other way. He lived years. So long. Do you know, by the time he went to Kashmiram for Visishta Advaita, he was actually more than 80 years. Okay. So now the one young person going is difficult. Likewise, old person going is all difficult. Yeah. So Ramanuja not only did that philosophical, but also he did lot of reforms, architectural change, traditions, how Srirangam temple should be done. On that basis, how the other Vishnu temples in Tamil Nadu or all over India can be done. All those things are Ramanuja's thing. All this happened in 11th century until 11th and 12th century.
Fantastic. I mean, there's a lot of tangents that I can go on this. I mean, so there's Ramanuja, there is the different log that you had in the temple. So all of these are extremely interesting tangents that we could go on. And so one is the Acharya, and the other is like you were mentioning about the Alwars who were also involved with the temple, right? So what was the contributions of the Alwars who came after Ramanuja or before?
Before.
Oh, before. Okay.
So we always we say Perumal, Alvar, Acharya.
Oh, Perumal.
So all the 12 Alvars we covered in the first episode is all up to 8th century.
Okay.
So like I said, Alvar, they don't do anything. They just mesmerize, simply thinking of Lord Lakshmi and Narayana only, and in various forms as we discussed. So all those happened from Nammalvar, previous beginning of Kali Yuga. Then Mudalalvar we say like Puigiyar, Bhudattar, Peyalvar, Tirumadisai Alvar like Bhakti Sara, Sivavakya I said earlier, and Kulashekara, and Periyalvar with Andal Koda, and then Tondaradi Podiyalvar, and Tirupan Alvar, and Tirumangai Alvar is like a local chieftain king. All those things, they are all happened in the late. What they did, as we said, they did 4,000 songs. Nalari Divya Prabandha. We have shown the list also in the previous episode, summing up to 4,000. Now, maximum they have sung, all the temple, like 108 we discussed, the maximum songs were done only on Ranganatha Srirangam.
Okay.
All the 11 Alvars except Madhuragavi Alvar have sung on Lord Ranganatha. Madhuragavi Alvar has only sung on his Guru Acharya Nammalvar. We know that. This, if you put all those songs together, out of 4,000, 247 pasurams, each verses, are on Ranganatha.
Okay.
By all these Alvars.
So the most devoted is for Srirangam. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Then the next one comes like Tirumala, Venkateshwara and other Divyadesams. Okay. But what is the significance of 247? It's coincidentally, the number of letters in Tamil language is 247. The number of Tamil letters, if you count vowels, 12, consonants 18. 18 into 12 will become a full letters, 216. If you add up all 246, then we have one separate 3 dots, ag in Tamil, 247. So number of Tamil letters 247, number of pasurams praised for Ranganatha is also 247. I'm going to say the Prabandham, or we say Aruli Chayal, has that kind of high benchmark and also the praise in Sri Vaishnava. So these Alvars have sung on Ranganatha. We can delve, but it will take more time. We can cover this in the later topics. But Alvars like Tondarari Padi Alvar have sung only on Srirangam, no other place. Like that, there are people. Like then when Tirupan Alvar sung only 10 songs. Across from Murayur, the Kaveri river, and everything is on Ranganatha. So that is Alvars. And Tirumangai Alvar towards the end, that time, all across South India, there were grow up of Shaiva, Vaishnavism, Buddha, Samana. The kings were patronizing Each one of at that time, he was a very valor king. So he built all these Prakara Mantapas protecting the Srirangam. So those are all for Alvar.
Which king was that?
Tirumangai Alvar.
Okay.
He hails from near Sirgari or Tanjore, but he went all around India, and he also contributed a lot in preserving the
structure.
One other thing which I want to touch, what Alvars did after Alvar. I said about Yamunacharya, right? All of that. His grandfather is called Natha Muni. That comes the demarcation. What we say, how you want to do your pujas and surrendering, the method of surrendering, and how you can be valuable to the society in terms of worship. Natha Muni was a proponent in everything like Ashtanga Yoga. At the same time, he was also gifted to all these Vaishnava pasurams. So he had a thing what to choose. Then he left for his grandson this Sri Vaishnava thing. If I do Ashtanga Yoga, if I do all those Yama, Niyama, Asana, Prahana, Pratyahara, Dhyana, Samadhi, it will benefit only myself. That is okay. But for the society, more you know Vedas, Upanishads and this Divya Prabandham, you can involve the whole society. For yoga, you have to follow a lot of disciplined life, and it's for one person. This is for the thing. So that's what Alavandar, that Sri Vaishnava Sampradayam became more wide across the society. So Natha Muni, he is the one who rescued all the 4,000 things. Because after 8th century, the whole Tamil Nadu went into some period called Kalappirar Kalam, which is like a dark ages. There's not much recordings what has happened. So the whole thing, not only Divya Prabandham, many Shaivite works also got disappeared. Natha Muni only went to Nammalvar. He's prayed 12,000 times, meditating, the singing his praise, and got that the Nalayan. So that is also a long story to discuss later. That's a contribution of Alwars.
Fantastic, fantastic. And so you kind of mentioned till about 12th century with Ramanuja. So can you kind of just talk about what happened post 12th century and contemporary relevance or significance of the temple in that sense?
Yeah, exactly. This is more about the mid-centuries of the whole India. There are a lot of historical anecdotes. When we say Srirangam, Lord Sriranganatha, it looks nice. Nowadays we get to see so many was happening, celebration happening, Prime Minister Narendra Modi visiting. We are getting elated. But was it like this really in those times? There was not, the whole India population was not much. But then it were all different small provinces, kingdoms, all those things. So after Ramanuja, even towards the end of the Ramanuja, many invasions were happening all over India, right from north of Kashmir onwards, we all know. So around 13th, 14th century, I think I could say some downfall of how Srirangam went through, in a very briefly. In year 1311, the whole Sultanate was ruling the India.
Delhi Sultanate, yes.
So one of the Sultan was a dynasty called Khilji, Alauddin Khilji.
Yes.
So he had his commander, and his name is Malik Kafur, and he was the one who actually came down all the way to South India. I remember when we were in the school young time with the history, we need to show the map and all. So I still remember most of the map reaching down to Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu is all from starting with Ashoka and then Akbar and Khilji, Alauddin Khilji and so on. So they started coming, and Malik Kafur was quite, they just wanted, same like we all know about the Ghazni. Ghazni who came 17 times plundering the wealth, gold, diamonds, everything of Somanath. Like that, they just want to target Hindu temples. They believe there are a lot of treasures. That's the only thing. So he came down all the way from Andhra. At that time, he fought over the Kakatiya kingdoms. In Maharashtra, Yadavas. He fought over Karnataka in Hoysala kings. Slowly, they came to Tamil Nadu and Kerala as well. In Tamil Nadu, they went up to Chidambaram, Nataraja. They plundered everything. And then they came to Srirangam in 1311. Their focus is they just plunder everything and go back to Delhi or whatever their palace. At that time, it is historically estimated. The time in 1311, the wealth they took from Srirangam, you won't believe, is 210 tons of gold. 210,000 kilograms of gold. How it happened? How much that much wealth can come? Because earlier, there is again a historical saying, in the early, during the Alwar time, 7th, 8th, 9th century, it was managed by different Chola kings, Pandya kings. They had all those things. But they were always devoteful to the temples. Whether it is Shaiva temple or Vishnu temple, that doesn't matter. What I came to know is, they were doing Tulabaram. You know, like Tulabaram, you do the balance. I give my weight of jaggery or paper or gold or anything. He did the same thing with the weight of elephant. In the big river like Kaveri, they had a floated big boat. On that boat, elephant was made to stand, 1 or 2 elephant. In another boat, they were actually experimenting that Archimedes theory, equivalent to putting gold until they became, and that's all offered. So it was believed the whole temple was gold plated at that time in 1311. It all taken. Taking the wealth is not a problem, but they actually took the deity. Can you believe? Yes. Earlier I said Periya Perumal is a stone image or Shalagrama Murti reclining. He can't be moved. But the Namperumal is standing like what you see like this height. Is a Panchaloka Vigraha. But they think it's all gold. He was also taken all the way with to Delhi with Malik Kafur. Now there is how people are so devoteful and they are going go to any extent in not missing any of their Ishta Devata. It could be Namperumal, Ranganatha or Shiva, that doesn't matter. What they did, one lady followed secretly. You won't believe in those times. And her name is called Valli. Since she was keep on following, her name is called Pin Todamda Valli. So she went all the way up to Delhi and she was trying to see what, nowadays you may see, but people can relate easily when you have seen films like Bahubali or RRR, that story is like that. Someone is taken, the children is taken, they follow, like that she was following. So, and that time, in the what they were saying, they normally melt all the gold or do something like a statues and all, they don't want to, because their religion is not worshipping with the sculptures. So they melt. But when this Namperumal was so beautiful and thing, Khilji's daughter, Alauddin Khilji's daughter, called Surarali. She mesmerized with that, she said, I will keep it in my backyard, my Antapura or Palatial place.
Okay.
And she kept it and she started like playing like an idol, like a small girl.
Yeah.
He also said, okay, fine.
Yeah.
So this Pintodandavalli came to know all those things, and she collected all the espionage thing and came back to Srirangam.
Okay.
And she said, this is where he is. We have to do something to rescue the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
And they know that Alauddin Khilji is a very connoisseur of music and arts and performance. So these Divya Prabandha Pasarams, this group of people went there, danced before, performed before King Alauddin Khilji. Okay. And he was also, okay, you all come from so much from South India, what do you want?
Okay.
And they said, we want only that, nothing else. And that Surara, she was not willing to give, but he was given, and they separated in 3 different routes to come back to Srirangam. It happened all within 5 years, 1311 to 1316.
Okay.
And that Surara, she also followed.
Oh, okay.
So in our Sampradayam, her name is called Bibi. Bibi is a typical for the Muslims.
Yes.
So we have even in Srirangam today, if you call, there is a one sanctum Sannadhi called Bibi Nachiyar.
Yeah.
She didn't actually eventually seen that, but the moment she came to Srirangam, she just lost her life. Even today, Ranganatha came in the dream of priest at that time. She also one of my concert. So even today they give her milk and roti like a chapati, not of our South Indian style. Okay. So that's how they came. So now, this is one anecdote. But the history doesn't stop here. The sad part of Srirangam, that was in 1316. Then the Tughlaq dynasty came in Delhi. Muhammad bin Tughlaq. His another name is called Ulu Khan. He is a second in the Tughlaq dynasty, I think. So again, he was also coming down. This time they came after, actually Malik Kafur, after plundering Srirangam, they went out to Madurai Meenakshi Amman temple. Okay. They also plundered everything. And there were some local Choda and Pandya king fought valiantly with them, and they sent them back. So in 1323, I think 23 or 21, this Ulu Khan, his another name is Muhammad bin Tughlaq. When he was before king as a prince, they want to show all those dominance, came down. And then came and again started plundering everything. But now the Srirangam people, they know what has happened. So they're very careful. Here say you get all these things, Srirangam, Chidambaram, Madurai, all were. So they erected a full stone wall before the reclining Lord Ranganatha. Full stone, granite stone wall. On that stone wall, they do some drawing, like a reclining like this drawing, so that the original deity is preserved. Ranganachiyar, the Mahalakshmi deity, was actually buried under the same sanctum sanctorum, outside the sanctum sanctorum, and they raise a wall. But what to do with this Vigraha, Namperimal? And then there was another Acharya, successor of Ramanujacharya. He is the most supreme of Sri Vaishnava in terms of all his works he did. But that's what we all follow even today. He also lived for 120 years. At the age of more than 110 years also, he, along with his disciple, he carried from Mother. At that time, there are 2 things to use. One in our Hindu Sampradaya, one is your, as I said, manual, Veda, Upanishad, philosophy, Visishta Advaita. You need to have that manual, right? So that was, at that time, Sri Vaishnava thing was centered in a book called Sruta Prakashika. So that is the essence of how you interpret Brahma Sutra Pashyam on Visishta Advaita basis. They were all those in palm leaves. So one of the Acharya called Vedanta Desiga, he took that activity of safeguarding those palm leaves. From Srirangam, he started moving towards Karnataka, Mysore. And this Pillalogacharya, the aged person, he took the Vigraha of Namperimal again. He came from Delhi. He carried with his disciple down south towards Madurai. That way, he was saved. When that's actually, incidentally, today is a day. In the anniversary, one of the saddest anniversary, when that Ulukan forces came in the Srirangam, crossing the Kaveri. So it's the
Panguni Uttram day.
2 days before Panguni Uttram. 2 days before Panguni Uttram. When he came, there was a big festival happening. No one knows what was happening. A lot of Sri Vaishnava and the other devotees were there. He crossed, started plundering everything, and he slaughtered, you won't believe, 12,000 devotees. They were simply slaughtered, slit through their throat. So that is a historical thing that has happened. It's called Tirumudi Tiruthiya Kalagam. Kalagam means something like a revolt. Tirumudi means head. Tiruthiya means chopped. So that called Panniyalvan Kalagam in today's episode. One of the things they say, there are 2 versions. One is that when this Malikafur was there, his chief, then he went on to other temples, but he stationed another commander to safeguard whenever the deity comes, you got to bring back to Delhi.
Okay.
So that chieftain was deceived by one lady.
Okay.
Like in those times, Devadasi was there,
Yeah,
who performed dance before Devas and do all the devotion service.
Yeah.
She deceived him and took him all the way to the top of the Gopura.
Okay.
Srirangam has 21 Gopuras. At that time, there was no south-facing big Gopuram now.
Okay.
That's a separate thing I will touch on later. He took him all the way to the top and she pulled him down,
Okay.
saying in the top there is a deity come. Then he came, he pulled down. After that, she also fell down.
Okay.
So in memory of her sacrifice, her name is called Vellayi.
Okay.
So that Gopuram remains even today Vella Gopuram.
Oh.
Of all the 21 Gopurams, every Gopuram is multicolored and painted nicely, but one Gopuram will stand
so
simple white.
Okay.
That is a sacrifice. I'm just emphasizing how 12,000 people sacrificed their life, and this lady sacrificed love, how Bibi Nachiyar sacrificed her life. Then what happened to this Utsava Namperumal? From Madurai, when we were reaching to the Anaimalai, like a join of Western Eastern gods there, he passed away his life, Pillalokachar, because he was already old, but he left to his disciple, and from there they went to Kerala. Do you believe that Vigraha was going to Kerala in Kozhikode?
Oh, okay.
From Kozhikode, it went to another, entered Karnataka called Tirukkanambi. From there, it went to Melkota, what we call Tirunarayanapuram, near Mysore.
Okay.
Then it went to Tirupati. From Tirupati, then it came to back to Tamil Nadu in Senji.
Okay.
In Senji, they came near Tiruchi, called Adagiya Manavala village. Then it came. For this, it took 48 years.
Oh, so because it did like a protection of the south almost.
South, exactly. Now we say like in Brahmotsava Tirumala, or what we do here, the procession.
Yeah.
We just say, they all went through a lot of sufferings, but in a way we think Namperumal, the Lord Vishnu, wanted to go around the India, South India on his own procession, but it's a lot of difficulties everyone. So that is called Thiruvarangan Ula. Ula means procession. Thiruvarangan. There is a very nice novel written on this with historical facts. One should read everyone. There is an English version maybe there, but anyone can. So he spent 48 years.
Okay.
Now there is another. When he came back 48 years, 4 generations have gone, or 3 generations have gone. So 1323 he left, he came back 1371.
Okay.
At that time when he came, no one knows. And in the meantime, the Srirangam was completely devastated. No irrigation, no people, no village, no king, no patronage, everything was down. It's gloom.
Okay.
And then they had temporarily some Utsava Murti was there. He is still there. If you go to Srirangam Sanctum Sectorum, Lord Ranganatha reclining, in between is the Utsava like this, but in a corner there is one another Perumal.
Okay.
He was the Utsava at for those 48 years.
Okay.
But interestingly, when we came, they could not find, when these Namperumal came, they could not find, is he really the Utsava at that time? Because 4 generations gone, right?
Yeah.
So at that time, interestingly, Vannan means who do laundry, washing the clothes. So their family used to do for only all the vastras, add on to the Namperumal, Devata, they can wash. So what he said, you do Abhisheka for both the Vigrahas.
Okay.
I was at that teenage at that time. Now I am very old. He lost his eyes also like 80 years. You please give that Tirtha from that Vastra after Abhisheka.
Okay.
From that I will find. Then he identified, this I remember. So that is the divine Sankalpa of how Ranganatha was being there. So these are the very, very dark ages of Srirangam temple. Likewise, there are many other temples, Puradana temple, Prachina temple. In India, they would have gone through
Yeah,
this.
this is like what even God has to go through, right? So
that is Kali Yuga. That is Kali Yuga. But at the same, that's why we have a sense of appreciation. We are having nowadays all this luxury, technology advancement, all the other profession and spiritual, or some time to spend time for these philosophical studies. But what people those time have done, that is just a
real sacrifice.
brief anecdotes I could touch upon. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Narasimhan, for sort of insightful things. So history across the years, it's been really, really insightful. Thank you so much for that. We look forward to more such insights from you in upcoming episodes.
Yeah, just to complete on the relevance of today, in this age, since we are touched on 14th, after that again Sri Vaishnava tradition continued. Ramanuja, he appointed 74 Simhasana Adhipati, 74 Acharyas after his time, like to propagate further, maintain, manage the temple, its architecture, so it's administration, management, spiritual engagement, everything was there more in a structured form.
Okay.
And then thanks to the Vijayanagara king from 13, that's why he could come from Tirupati all the way to back to Srirangam.
Okay.
Everything was continued. On this day, today is Panguni Uttram, the one of the unique thing you need to know. We always live like a family. All the deities live like a god and goddesses.
Yeah.
What is unique of this Sriranga is Lord Ranganatha is there in his sanctum sanctorum, and he is facing south. Facing east is Ranganachiyar, Mahalakshmi.
Yes.
And do you know they never meet?
Oh.
Only once in a year. Only once in a year, this Panguni Uttram.
Oh. Okay.
That is today, here in Indian time, it is tomorrow, March 25th. That only one day, because that's the day Ranganachiyar have done his avatara, she had done, and so Ranganatha visits his wife
Only
consort
one day.
only one day. And that's we call in Tamil as a seti, like where they are together. Tomorrow you have to see, you will see YouTube live events as well. That they are together, they have Abhishekam, they do puja, all those. On this day only, Ramanuja Acharya chose this day to do Saranagati, means surrender.
Yes.
Not for himself, for all his followers. So that's the only day he did. On this day, you have to give a promise. So Ranganatha said, yes, I promise. What do you want? Then he said, what should I do for moksha? He said, just think about myself and Lakshmi always. Where should I go?
Just
You
stay
be
here.
here. When I will get this is like a question answer. It's called Gatya Trayam.
Okay.
So he Ramanuja composed on this Panguni the three Gatyam. One is called Sharanadi Gatyam, surrender. Second is Sriranga Gatyam for Ranganatha. Third is Vaikunta Gatyam, what happens in Vaikunta.
Okay.
That is a separate episode, but in a very nutshell.
You are giving a lot of tangents for us to go on.
But it is essential. So he asked like a question and said, okay, I will give moksha. When you will give? After the end of this birth.
Okay.
So there is some little, all those karma concepts are there. And then he says, until then, what should I do? Be in Srirangam.
Okay.
What I do? Be in service to myself and Lakshmi. That's it.
Okay.
And can I do this for my, can you grant this for my future generations? Ramanuja asks, yes, all your followers, we say Ramanuja Sambandhi. Sambandhi means who are in that
Relations.
line. Will always be blessed as long as you are in the path of Saranagati.
Okay.
I would like to close with this. What the Dvayam, he normally said like this, Srimate Shriman Narayana Charanam Prapatye, they will say. And the second line is Srimate Narayanaya Namaha. What I'm saying, I am surrendering to the lotus feet of Lakshmi and Narayana for praying to be in eternal service to them.
Okay.
Nothing beyond, no more, no less.
No less. Okay.
So
Wonderful.
that's,
Thank you so much. Namaskaram. We look forward to hearing from you in future episodes as well.
Yeah, thank you very much.